Hey, my name is Rainer Hooser, and for my multimodal project for Writing 102, I did a podcast. And I've done a few podcasts before, and I really enjoy them. And I feel like doing podcasts sort of comes naturally to me, so I decided to do that for my multimodal project. And I did that on the NIL laws that I did for my research paper because we had to do the multimodal project based on the information we used for our research. And I didn't want to use like all of my research, so I just used the main ideas. And the biggest concern from the NIL laws is the gap it's going to create in the competition, particularly in football and college basketball. So I talked mostly about that, and I also covered how it might affect team dynamics in mental health that a couple of my sources talked about. So overall, I used about like 5 to 7 sources, and the way I did the podcast is I had it was two people. Both of them were me, but for one of the I had like a show host and then a sports analyst. So for the show host, I just used a different voice, and I made the voice super deep and super country. So it was different, and I just kind of had fun with it, and I was happy about it for the most part. If I could do it again, I probably would have added more informal speech to add in the gaps in the conversation, like between the information. There was a little bit of that at the beginning, but I could have had more just to fill it in and make it less informational and more like informal and natural. And for something like a podcast, I would probably listen to some real interviews. That's what I did before I made my podcast, just to get samples of how they usually go. And I would definitely write a script before doing your podcast because I tried to do a podcast. I thought I knew what I was doing, and it didn't work out without a script. Um, so I'll definitely make a script. And the multimodal project is just a really fun way of getting your research across to your audience. Um, so I would just have fun with it. If you like podcasts, I would do a podcast, and I definitely enjoyed it, especially since I take a great interest in the information I use for my research. So I would definitely research about something you enjoy, for sure, and that'll make the whole process a lot easier, especially with the multimodal project. Um, yeah.